We'll call the meeting of the school committee to order. It is 5:02. This meeting is being both audio and video recorded. And I would ask that everyone please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Samantha, if you can start,
Sure.
please.
Samantha Velasquez, Secretary.
Pamela Blair, Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Antonella Richella.
Gordon Smith, Superintendent of Schools.
Gregory Thompson.
William Strother.
Carrie Jarzowski.
Heather Brown, Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning.
Okay, thank you all. We have minutes for approval. I would take someone to move to,
I move to approve the January 5th, 2026 regular session meeting minutes.
motion made by Antonella,
Second.
second by William. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That carries 4-0.
I move to approve the January 15th, 2026 superintendent interview minutes.
Motion made by Antonella,
Second.
second by William. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. That carries 4-0. Committee and subcommittee communications. Antonella, would you like to start?
I don't have anything
Okay,
today.
William
Don't have anything.
and Carrie.
Just a reminder that the gala is coming up. Tickets are on sale till Friday,
Gala.
February 7th.
Are you going?
Ely Gala.
Can't go.
Yes, the
I
Ely.
thought you were
Gala.
going.
31st annual.
Sorry.
Amy's not going either.
It's up to you if you want to give me a check, then you have to pay the fee.
At least
Otherwise, you have to pay
William's
the
I'm
extra
sorry. It's
$18
the first time I'm
processing fee.
missing it.
I know, it's
The
so
meeting's
fun.
next week.
I told you,
Okay.
my husband had hip replacement surgery. So I'm not coming.
Okay.
Well, we're going to have a blast with that.
Yeah, we are.
I
I
know.
know.
Some selfies.
I know. I know you guys will.
Okay, on that note, opportunity for visitors to address the committee, seeing none. And moving forward, we have an update on the East Long Meadow High School building project.
Okay. Up on the screens and in your packets, we have some slides, but I did update the dates. I was going to say this was dated for yesterday. No. Now we've moved into the 27th. So here's our update, January 27th, 2026. This is where we began. Back in the days when we didn't have snow. This is where we're going to end up. And thankfully, we continue to remain on schedule and on budget. I'm sure some of our folks are panicking a little bit because I've called 2 snow days now. But right now, we're on schedule and on budget.
Good.
Can you remind me
Sure.
how many snow days will put us in a stressful situation?
We're in a stressful situation.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah,
2 does.
I think depending on who you ask.
We're already there.
Yeah. So we'll probably have some discussion with the high school to see if there's any interest in maybe doing a vacation day or to gain back 1 or 2 snow days. But it would just be the high school. So we'll see. And they don't. It's no pressure on them. But certainly there's stress anytime a snow day is called. On my end, on the contractor's end, and so forth. This was, if you remember, when we did an update, it was actually in December, but this was a picture taken in the fall. Gives you a good aerial of the entire campus, how the lots are currently, gives you the building behind the existing building, and the start in that upper right corner where they started to actually level fields and start the process of getting our athletic fields online faster than they had expected.
That's good.
This gives you an overview in December, and it gives you 4 different looks in terms of the new building, north view, overhead site view with everything we just described. It's a little harder to see than the one in the fall, but it gives you an idea of where we are as we've turned the corner into winter. Rooftop view and then the pool area
They
specifically.
haven't closed the pool yet?
It is
Or
now.
is it going to
It
be open?
is now. This was back in December.
It has a retractable roof.
Yeah, that's what I was
Could be a dome.
Go swimming in the snow.
Was that an
Snowstorm.
option?
Pricing
Anything.
one.
Anything could be done.
Anything.
Yeah.
For a price.
There are a lot of different discussions
There are
on
currently no
design.
convertible pools that I know of, but anything's possible.
Building a dome.
Some of the more recent activity, we have the slab actually placed out there to build our new press box at the stadium, which that's really exciting because that press box has seen better years. This was early January, that's right? Am I early January?
Yep.
Mr. Thompson and Mr. Macarini from the high school took a bunch of our high school students who may be interested in going into the trades. And they had a tour of the new building and had a chance to discuss different things with Mark Hogan from Fontaine Brothers.
It was great. Mark was great with the students. He answered a lot of questions. We had Danielle and Lynn with us as well, and they really got a lot out of it. I really believe that. Yeah.
They've been a really supportive team, right?
They have.
For the whole
Yeah.
district.
If you remember last year, Fontaine not only had a couple of our tech ed classes go out, but then came in and had a meeting with those same classes that toured the site at the time, and then just walked through the whole process, which is pretty cool. And here's some things that are going on inside. So that's the control booth, which is an elevated control booth, not similar to what we currently have in the current school. Starting to see the walls going up, taping and mudding. A-wing is where the auditorium is, our arts will be, and so forth. Fire protection starting to be installed in B-wing. Electrical rough in for the culinary arts room. That's exciting. It's really interesting to see how many of these things are done off-site, and then they bring in the whole plumbing unit, if you will, or electrical unit, and then set it up in the room.
Wow, that's the culinary arts room?
Yep.
It's pretty exciting.
So the culinary arts teacher had asked to get into the building to see her space,
Yeah.
and starting next week for 2 weeks, 12 at a time, staff members will go after school. There's 6 days that we've scheduled for them to take groups in, so they can all see their spaces that they'll end up in, and then see the whole building as well. So first two weeks of February.
And they're making incredible progress. These are now 2 weeks old. Gives you an idea of the curtain wall. This would now be above. The C-spine is that line basically that comes through from front door to back door and picks up the cafeteria at the back of the building. This is above the cafeteria where you're looking out back of the building.
Is this just a hallway?
It's a hallway above the cafeteria, so you're going to get all that natural light
It's
into the
that
cafeteria.
space open, you look down to the cafeteria, and then that's the south side, so that's that field that Gordon was talking about that we're gonna get online right away.
That's good.
Yep.
Elevator is actually further along than this picture shows. It's in, and it's they're finishing that off. That's a science classroom. That's a science lab. So imagine that compared to the science rooms we currently have. It's pretty impressive.
It looks so, is it really this big?
It feels much bigger without
They're standard
any
size,
desks
yeah.
or science tables in the middle.
Oh, okay.
They're good sized rooms.
But they're good size.
I was like,
far
this looks
bigger
huge.
It is
than
good.
any of the labs we have currently.
The windows make it feel large, plus there's interior windows.
It looks so nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
They're painting in all wings, but this just happens to be a picture of classrooms being painted in D-wing.
Were there colors that they stuck with for all of?
So each wing, each academic wing has certain accent colors.
Yeah.
Helps you sort of navigate, if you will. And then so each of the rooms will have those accent colors in it. Such as you can pick up the green and the yellow. Really, I think that should probably be green. So maybe that's not painted yet. Maybe that's just daylight.
One of the many decisions of the school building committee.
Yeah. You get to see the wall tile that will be in the hallways. So it'll be tile up to that point, and then obviously paint and sheetrock above. And then this is old, but it just gives you an idea of timelines once again. And although originally, because this came out in August, they were looking at possibly in the pink, they're taking more than just central office and this whole annex in April. But we've come to the agreement that it will just be central office, LCAT, student support services, which is part of central office, and then the classrooms down the hallway here. So small
It's
gym.
just here,
Yep.
Right.
not over there
The
anymore.
annex.
The pool will go offline so that they can start working on, different things there in terms of draining it and so forth. But they're not going to take the small gym and the gym at the same time that they're taking the annex.
So we'll end up moving central office, student services, payroll. We're gonna rent a space probably at Cardamundi for 5 months and move the whole annex. We are hiring professional movers to move there and then to move back to the new school once it's ready.
So it's a proposal, a request for proposal that's being put together to moving companies because you really have two very specific moves, and in that there's a lot of moving parts. There's no pun intended. There's moving to storage. There's moving to office space for central office, and then moving back. There's moving the rest of the school in June. Most of that's going into storage, and then moving it from storage into the new building. So there's quite, it's going to be interesting when those bids come in.
Just on this picture, Gordon, the black line delineates the first day of school. To the right of the black line will be demolished, and to the left where the classroom wings will still be up when we open the school building.
Last day of school?
No, first day of the new building, that
Oh, I see.
purple area will still be up.
Okay.
And it's gonna take another year to knock that down and put in the rest of the fields on the right side. Right? Makes
Yeah,
sense?
no, you're right. Yeah, no, I thought you meant in terms of, because they want to take that green area quickly.
Oh, yeah, day
Yeah.
after school.
Last
Yeah,
day
yeah.
of school.
There is an auction, we're gonna have an auction for all the furniture and anything that's sellable. And things will be sold in lots, basically all the desks together, all the chairs, the kitchen equipment. And Skanska has coordinated with a auction company, and they will host the auction before the end of school, and then the winners of the bids for the lots will have to come on basically the day after the last day of school to come pick it up. They'll have a one-day window to get everything out.
And interestingly enough, we did have the middle school interested in taking some things, and all of that was fine, so we'll work on getting that over to the middle school. But the East Long Meadow Public Library is interested in a bunch of our library furniture, which is pretty cool. So they're going to take I believe, the circulation desk, a bunch of the shelving, and they may actually take some of the tables and chairs. So we just have to work on getting it over to them in a timely manner.
Were there any pictures of the library done? Or not yet?
The new library?
No,
There's not much to it
because
yet.
right now
Okay.
it's just
It's all wide open.
Yeah, it's just a big
All right.
space. Yeah.
Curious what that's
So
gonna look like.
when are we trying to move out of here for the pink
Over
phase?
April break.
Mhm.
Over the
April.
April vacation. Yeah.
So during April break, they will literally move everything out, and then we'll hand it over, and then they're gonna build a wall at the end of that hallway to
Yeah, to
close
start
off the building.
abatement.
Can't
Yeah.
get in here.
Then they'll demolish it.
And
Once
then
they've
demolish
abated,
it. Yeah.
they'll demolish it. So February break, we're going to be quite active. We're already active, but we're trying to consolidate things. We're trying to, anything that can be shredded and taken out of storage, because we have storage in these offices, we have storage across the hallway here, we have storage in student support services. So as much of that as can be consolidated, we're going to do that before April break. And then the movers will take what we need to use on a daily basis over to wherever we're going.
The Athletic Hall of Fame is going into a kiosk, so it'll all be electronic. All those plaques are going away. They'll go
Oh,
back
they
to the
are?
athletes.
There'll be
So we're-
touch screen so you can get into and see all
They're
that.
gonna itemize all the trophies, all the old trophies, because we're not gonna bring all the old trophies with us. We'll bring some, but not all. So that'll all be in that kiosk to look up electronically. Ludlow has
No
one.
more trophies?
We'll still have trophies. We
We'll still have
a
some,
trophy case.
yeah, we'll still
But
have some So I'm sorry.
To bring them all would be a lot. We have, I believe, we have more space now than the new one has.
We do.
Yeah.
We have more
So we have to
space.
bring less than we have.
And we currently have some that are not displayed, they're in storage already.
So we're not bringing them with us.
Get rid of them?
We're gonna.
No, we're
find a
gonna, what we hope to do is, one, maybe work with the historic group in town, and also with the Athletic Hall of Fame is purchasing that touchscreen, and they're gonna get their information in, but we can add so much more, so we can put some of that into the touchscreen, so people could call up, did we win Western Mass Championship in 1975? You can have championships. You can categorize it however you want. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
What about all the banners in the
I was just
The
thinking.
banners are moving to, we're gonna try and streamline them, although most of them will probably end up going. But yes, they will be up in the new gym. And the swim ones will go up as well. We're getting a new scoreboard for the swim records. We've asked that we get the old ones so we can give those to the swimmers that are up there. I've already had a family ask for some of them, so, yeah. Run away. Okay, moving right along then. Thank you, Gordon, for that. We have an FY25 end-of-year financial report.
Well, this is not nearly as exciting as the new high school, but it is
Gotta pay
very
the bills.
important. Yes,
Right.
exactly. So every year, I think you all hear me talk in the month of September, I'm very busy doing the financial report for the prior fiscal year. All the expenditures for the school from all funding sources are compiled into this report. It's the school's operating budget, the town's operating budget, grants and revolving accounts. Anything that buys anything for the school department needs to go into this report. We're mandated that every year it then has an independent accountant audit. So that's what this is. Scanlon is the company, and their job, this is a new format for some of you, like Carrie, I don't know if you had seen this before. It never looked like this. So for the others, this is a whole new format that Desi has done. I asked our Joanne, who does the audit, I said, oh my gosh, this is totally new. And she said, oh, I did it so soon last year. They actually changed it last year, but we were still on the old format because we did the audit pretty quickly. So that's why we didn't see it. But this is the new agreed upon procedures. And what they do is they go through every single one and they double check, and which is their job, right? And find any kind of errors. And they did find a few. I have to get information from the town on expenditures and like what that number is for retiree insurance, for active employee insurance, and we have a formula that they're supposed to comply with in our agreed upon agreement between the town and the school, and they didn't use the correct percentage, so it wasn't reported accurately. So what happens then is errors are found. I go in on an amendment form on Desi's website, update that, and then that updates the end-of-year report. So what I did give to all of you is a copy. It's an electronic copy. It's not a hard copy because it's many, many pages, but electronically you have a copy of that updated end-of-year report. And there is a lot of very good information in there to know. Again, you hear me talk about DOE codes. I love the DOE codes. It's my life. It's broken down by DOE code, so you can go in and you can look at just the teachers, just psychologists, just the nursing staff, just things like that, so we can really further analyze where are our tax dollars going, where are all the grants going, how much does it take to really run the district. So I encourage you to look that over. Are there any questions? Okay, I just need you to officially accept the audit.
I move to approve the fiscal year 2025 end-of-year financial report audit.
Motion made by Antonella. Second by William. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed nay. Carries 4-0.
Thank you. And I apologize, I'm a little under the weather tonight, so I've got my tissues and my things. Okay. You want me to just go right into the next one?
The 2026 second quarter report. Yep.
Yep, so This is, as you just said, the quarterly report as of December 31st. And looking at the budget spreadsheet on page 5, which is where we always go to, all of the salary accounts are on the top section of the page. Most salaries are encumbered at the beginning of the year. At this point in time, 96% of salary budget has been either expended or encumbered. However, you will see balances remaining in the salary line items. Typically, this is due to hourly employee salaries that do not get encumbered. And in addition, there are vacancies and leave of absences that have created a surplus in some of those line items. I do want to hone in on the only one that I'm kind of looking at is the substitute line. I'm seeing that we had a total budget there of $270,000. We've already expended $203,000. Of course, those are daily rates, so they're not encumbered. So that only leaves us $66,000. What I do want to bring to your attention is doing a little research before the meeting today. There are 8 long-term subs covering leave of absences, and that's part of what you're seeing here. So if you go up 2 lines for where the teachers are, you see a balance remaining there of $156,000. Those really do correlate with one another because, the subs I have to code them differently, and a daily sub is coded differently from a long-term sub, but they're both in that line item there for substitute. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? So I'll just keep watching this line, and as the year goes on, and if there are remaining balances like in that teacher line, it would then offset the substitute lines, and I would request transfers later on in the year. The paraprofessionals, that's the only other line item I'd like to just mention. There's been a lot of turnover with paras. I think I mentioned at the last meeting or a few meetings ago that about a third of our paras, it's a constant turnover. This is just the way it is every single year. We're trying to fill those holes and get those paras in the positions, but it is a little bit of a struggle sometimes. Are there any questions on the salary side? And down the bottom are the expense side of the budget, and these all seem to be in target to where they should be. You see the vocational tuition that has a larger balance than normally would have, and that's because I think I had mentioned to you before, at the end of last year, was able to do a $225,000 prepay. So therefore, and of course, at the time when you put a budget in place, you don't know what your year end is going to be, so you don't know about prepays to be able to budget differently. So that budget there, that $297,000, I believe that is a real number that we'll be able to allocate elsewhere that might be needed.
Can we use that to prepay and offset
Yes.
part of that 1-1?
Say that again?
Part of the deficit?
Can you prepay a deficit?
No, prepay and then
Yes,
That'll-
yes, you can.
offset our deficit?
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
You can always prepay special education.
Special education,
A month, 3 months?
I believe it's 3 months, yes.
will we realize the whole,
Or collaborative, you can pay at collaborative. Those are the only prepays that are legal.
right,
It'll help.
yep.
You're jumping ahead a couple of times.
Yes, it will definitely help because we talked about the school choice and how that's covering supplies. So, if any monies we can save in school choice rolls over, right? Anything here goes back to the general fund. So it's a balancing act to try to utilize the funds best possible for the school department. So I think we're on target here. That was the only one that I really wanted to bring to your attention, just to remind you about that. Are there any other questions on the expense lines? The next page are your grants. We've gone over these before. They're same ones, the entitlement grants that we get every year, the special ed IDEA, the early childhood, Title I, Title II, and Title IV, DPH grant, the METCO grant. We have that new one, Fair Share, which is the what we've allocated for bleachers. That is still a work in progress. I checked in with Kevin today on that, and we should know more information in the next few weeks. So he's working.
Is there a bid out yet for that?
No, I don't know. There's not. So I think there's still some research being done. So again, I don't have as much information as I was hoping to have today, but I should have probably reached out sooner to him, and I didn't.
That's not
So
on a state bid list, is it?
no, this is under no.
It's under
Teachers
supplemental.
aren't already,
I see what
I'm
you're
sorry.
saying.
Yeah, I
On a state
misunderstood your. I was checking into it, and I don't think that they are,
okay.
but I'll revisit that and have more info. to give you next time. And again, I just want to remind you that these grants, as I put at the bottom here, are anticipated as part of the budget development process, meaning that the positions, services, tuitions funded through these grants are not included in the general budget, and I don't put anything in there. They're taken out, so when we talk about the budget, which is going to be very soon, none of these items are part of that operating budget. They're already taken out. Some people's salaries, I allocate, like $800,000 from the IDEA grant for tuitions, out of district tuitions. So I just wanted to remind you about that. Your last page is your revolving accounts, which are all in good shape. Going down, you see your athletic revolving, school rental accounts, the insurance programs, those are all good. The tuition revolving, it's $165,000. Circuit breaker. So right now, you only see an $86,000 balance there. We did receive the first and second quarters. That was $514,325 each quarter. So although you only see $86,000, we're still due another $1 million. There's still the third and fourth quarter payments that will come there.
That won't all roll over, though, necessarily, right?
It depends on when it comes, and yes, exactly, and how much we have to expend there. So the circuit breaker is what we use to offset the special ed. So it depends on what's happening, because things are always changing, right, on how much we have to go into the circuit breaker, in addition to the operating budget and the IDEA grant.
Pam, that tuition revolving, does that continue to grow through the rest of the year?
It will continue to grow because these people pay monthly.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
'Cause we
Some
carried over-
people can pay upfront,
Yeah.
but only a few do that.
We carried over 244, and we're at 165. Do we anticipate we'll get that high?
I don't anticipate we're
No.
going to get that high. I don't,
Okay.
for a myriad of reasons.
I bet.
Yeah, sometimes people are a little slow to pay, and then we have to have conversations with them. Sometimes they turn into an IEP student, so they're no longer paying tuition.
Yeah.
Those kind of things happen. Renee is always on top of that and works with, the funds are actually collected in the student services office right across the hall, and then Laura deposits them weekly, but most people pay monthly. It's 10 payments
Okay.
for the whole amount that we spread it out for them. Transportation, so I just wanted to bring to your attention, I am seeing that $98,000 there, so that's a possible place that maybe we could also, if we needed to, I always leave money in there to help offset the transportation budget, obviously, but this is revenue that is not for next year yet. We collect it in May and June before school ends, so that's going to raise up, I guess is my point. So we might be able to use that this year if we needed to, or we could offset transportation with a higher amount for next year. There's two possibilities, depends on what's happening here. Does that make sense?
Does the 137 include the May and June?
Correct,
payments?
yes.
It does?
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's not really a carryover, well, it is a carryover because we took it in, but it's for the next year.
Yes, exactly,
months.
exactly.
Gotcha.
School food service, she did do those, I meant to bring pictures, I'll bring that to the next meeting. She sent me some pictures of the new cafeteria, the lines, and they look really nice.
Oh, cool.
They're much cleaner and just brighter and just more efficient. You could just see it, so I'll bring that next time. School choice account, I did want to let you know, I think I put it in the write-up, that we are at 51 students. I think last time I told you that I had an incorrect number there and that I would need to revise it. So 51 students are how many school choice students we have. The monthly payment now is $27,254, because it did raise up from $18,000 to $27,000 in October. However, when I was just looking at the account, I noticed that for the last 2 months, only $18,000 has come in. So I've dropped an email to the town treasurer, because I don't know why it's not $27,000. It comes in with the Chapter 70 money on a monthly basis, so they have to then allocate it to the appropriate account. So I'm thinking there might be an error there. So I'm checking on that for you, because my records did indicate that it was increased to the $27,000. So I'll stay on top of all of these. It's imperative to remember that the balances provided are a snapshot in time, and things are changing constantly. Does anyone have any questions? No?
Thanks, Pam.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do we accept those usually, Pam?
Yeah, we
Yes, you do, yeah.
We usually do
Thank
a
you.
motion.
Take a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the fall 2025 commission check from Grin and Barrett.
No, that one before.
Nope, the one before quarter.
Oh,
Just
I
accept
thought
the
you were
financial-
talking
You
about
can do that
those.
next, but, yeah.
Could roll right into it.
I move to approve the fiscal year 2026 second quarter report.
Motion made by Antonella.
Second.
Second by William, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That carries 4-0. Go ahead, Antonella.
I move to approve or accept the fall 2025 commission check from Grin and Barrett in the amount of $2,188.65 to the Meadowbrook School gift account.
Motion made by Antonella.
Second.
Second by William, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. That carries 4-0.
I move to accept the fall 2025 commission check from Grin and Barrett in the amount of $1,028.75 to the Mountain View School gift account.
Motion made by Antonella. Second by William, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. That carries 4-0.
Thank you, we'll get those deposited tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Big year for pictures, huh?
Yeah.
Seems like it's every other week.
Yeah, I know.
I know, I feel like
One of
we
the
do.
schools, well, because they trickle in, so they're not all coming in at the same time.
Oh,
Okay, moving right along, we have FY 2027 budget development discussion.
You want me to start right in on this, Gordon?
Sure.
So what I did, what I've been working on, as you know, I never want to give a percentage until I'm feeling very confident on where we're at. So what did I do? I moved everything back to the operating budget for FY '27 so that we could see the real picture. What did that mean? I moved all the staff up on salary scales or the percentages that were in their contracts, added back in professional development, the guidance counselor 5 days, the curriculum renewal, the supply money that is being covered by school choice this year, put it all back into the lines, put it all into Munis, and then I ran the report so that this is typically how Kim does it on the town side when the budget is presented. So it's put into these categories. So what am I seeing? I'm seeing that in order to keep level services, if everything were to be back in the operating budget, we would need a 6.25%. We don't know for sure, but in having preliminary conversations with the town, a 3% was mentioned. So I wanted you to know what does that really mean? We really need 2.3 million. We're probably going to get 1.1 million. We're still going to be short $1.2 million. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. There are still some moving pieces behind the scenes that certainly could change. The collaborative, there's a couple of positions there that they're looking to get. I don't have an exact dollar figure on if those positions were voted down. It wasn't given to me, but I kind of did some calculations, and I'm thinking it's probably about $25,000 that if they did, because remember, the 7 districts split the cost, and you split the benefits as well, so you have to take all that into consideration. So again, it's not an exact number, but that's my guess. There's an HR person that they're extending from 204 days to 260, I believe. I might be off on the days, but something very similar to that. And again, I don't know the exact number, but thinking maybe 5,000 for that. What else do we want to talk about? Things that we did last year.
May I jump in?
Oh, of course, Gordon.
So what we have in the middle of this document, these are things that obviously we'd like the school committee to consider as we look to close that deficit before we have to go to reducing positions. And so a lot of this, just as Ms. Blair was about to say, these are strategies that we did or utilized last year. And so it's looking at freezing again curriculum renewal, and that 80,000 really, just so people are aware, if we freeze it again, the 80,000 is for is that we had been operating basically on a 5-year cycle with different content areas in that 5-year cycle. And so when they had gotten to the point where they've done their self-study, they've looked at how they align currently with the DESE frameworks and standards, they're at the position where they can utilize some of that 80,000 to purchase new curriculum. Last year, we chose to freeze that, so the cycle's somewhat frozen. What we've been utilizing, Ms. Brown has been excellent at looking at where does DESE provide us grants? How can we start to utilize? It doesn't give you as much choice because their grants come with certain stipulations, but they do a pretty good job of vetting high-quality instructional materials.
Yeah,
So-
our elementary ELA and math curriculum through 8th grade is primarily funded through DESE.
Right.
Grants.
So that's one item where we could freeze again, and we would go that direction, staying more along the lines, revamping our cycle so that what is DESE offering, where do we have needs in terms of curriculum renewal. Last year, we did 2 memoranda of understanding with the ELEA. One was around counselors' extra days. Guidance counselors and adjustment counselors work extra days at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. And one was regarding individual reimbursement for professional development, which is within the contract, people can be reimbursed up to $650. I don't think that there's much interest to do the counselor one again. There might be some interest, given that it's $130,000, should we have to get to reducing positions, would save one, if not more positions. So that's something that we would hope the school committee would pursue. We've talked a lot about choice. Choice helped us immensely in this year's budget. We are in a situation where right now our enrollment has gone down. We have room, bringing classrooms to an untenable class size. So you could expand. Last year we expanded 20 slots. They were at grade 6 and grade 9, given that those tend to be grades that families look for. They look for those transition grades where they're going to be going to a new school anyway. They might be looking to move into town, or if they're not looking to move into town, they look for school choice options. So that can be increased. That can also be decreased. That's up to you. And then the last item was utilizing existing, I think 2 meetings ago, we talked about the possibility of rolling over about $290,000 of school choice money. We certainly do not want to ever utilize all of that, because if you do that in one given school year, you're going to take a while to get it back. It took us over 5 years to build up to the point that we had built up a few years ago, and we started to use it with incredible discretion. We did a lot of one-time only type projects, and then last year, obviously, we've used it for closing the deficit. So this is a look at using it, but not using it as much as we relied on it this year to close the deficit. Some positive news, which just came out of that quarterly report. You could have a balance in vocational tuition, which could be then applied to a prepay, which would be fantastic, because if you're prepaying, then you can reduce the vocational tuition line item. And so there's your savings. That was over $200,000,
Yep.
$297,000, I think it was.
Did we prepay last year, did you say?
We did.
225.
We didn't have it as a strategy, though, because we didn't know if we were going to be.
Right.
But we didn't take it out of our budget, and so that's why we have it. surplus
Correct, because the
now.
budget was already in place.
Right.
But this year, we're proposing we could potentially take it less than the budget line item by that much.
Yes.
I wouldn't go all the way to
Right.
297. But
I agree.
Yeah.
Because then we have to make it up the next year as well. We have to find it again,
Yeah, so there is, yes,
There's
exactly.
always risk, yeah.
which is the problem we're running into this year, yeah.
Okay, so you're taking away my optimistic.
Thanks, Greg.
There's nothing optimistic about this.
No, there's not.
Anything that keeps staff here,
Yeah,
I look
you're
as,
right.
as an
You're
optimistic
right.
point.
You're right.
But certainly you want to be cautious with any one of these moves, so you don't go to 297,000. But as you, and nothing's up for a vote right now
No.
in this meeting. This is all just to bring certain ideas to all of you to think about. The other piece that's not on here is Mrs. Blair and I had gone to, at their request and invitation, gone to the Financial Oversight Committee in late April last year. They make the final recommendation to the town council. Also in late April, before the budget is finalized by the town council in May. At that meeting, as we were presenting different things about the school department budget, we talked about the fact that the Joint Ways and Means Committee, we felt, we're going to, in June, when our budget is done, meaning the town's budget and therefore the school department's budget, probably going to increase the amount of money per pupil that districts were guaranteed to receive for Chapter 70. If you remember, we received the bare minimum. Originally it was $30 per pupil. I think it was something like $185,000.
Yep.
So our increase to Chapter 70 last year was projected at being about $185,000. As of June, it doubled, so we received another $185,000. What we had asked the Financial Oversight Committee to consider was that should that happen, would they make a motion or a recommendation to the town council that that money then be retroactively provided to the school department budget. Ultimately, they decided not to make that, or voted against making that recommendation, but there was discussion where, as they were about to go to vote, it was stated that if the school department needs money, they can come to us like any other department. I would say we need some money. So that might be something to consider, and that $185,000 didn't get budgeted into any one fund, so it just goes into free cash, which is very healthy right now. So it's not a question of asking for, hey, make us whole, we need 1.1 million from free cash. We know that's not realistic, nor would that be something that I would recommend. However, I think it would be worth asking for the $185,000 because it wasn't budgeted in any line item, correct me if I'm wrong, so ultimately it just flows into free cash.
Right, so what happens, and this is what I'm passing out right now, Governor Healy just came out with her preliminary budget, and it's an increase to East Long Meadow of $176,625, I believe, which I believe is the minimum, which is $30 per student. And so this is what we're talking about. As the year went on last year, further into the budget, I think it was in June, that there was lots of talk that they were going to then increase the minimum from 30 to 60, which is exactly what they did. So we ended up getting $185,000 initially on the cherry sheet, just like you're looking at right now. But then at the end of the year, after the budget was already in place, they gave another $185,000, the other $30 to make it 60. And that's what Gordon and I were trying to ask them to let us have so that we could have less of a deficit. But they ultimately voted no, that they wanted it. And so this is where the budget is right now, preliminary, and that certainly could change. I'm not hearing anything yet. It's a little too soon, but we wanted to be sure that you knew that this did come out.
So this is based on the governor's State of the State address last week. So we would be receiving, as Mrs. Blair said, the minimum required per pupil increase is about $30.
$30. And so the only other area that we're never a fan to bring it forward, but we do always have to talk about it, is the athletic program. So you do see those numbers there in the middle. We just wanted to make sure that you knew, what does it cost to run our athletic program? $740,000. The operating budget is $584,000 plus $125,000 in fees, that we collect, and the student fees, the athletic fees, and then another $31,000 in gate receipts, and that's how we fund athletics. So I did reach out to, and what I wanted you to know, that's right, is that in this number, and what I put into the budget is a request from Kevin to increase $20,000 for travel, because he's just not being able to keep up with the cost of that, and $20,000 for additional supplies. So I did put that in there and wanted to make sure that you knew that. He came back with some different proposals. We asked him, what about freshman sports? And so he did give us some information, which I also have here to share. You know, none of us are fans of, right, of not having sports, but there are a few, as you'll see on this list, that the freshman boys soccer coach, fall of 2022 was the last time they fielded a team. Freshman girls soccer, fall of 2024 was the last time they fielded a team. Freshman girls basketball, or is that basketball? Baseball?
I
It
believe
has to be
it's
basketball, yeah. Winter 2023 was the last time they fielded. And freshman baseball coach, the spring 2022 was the last time they fielded. So, again, you know, we're not a fan of getting rid of these, but we do
Don't they
need
just
to.
stay into the athletic revolving?
Say that again?
Aren't they just it doesn't stay in the athletic revolving account?
Well, this, you would no longer pay
No, I
for
know,
the coach.
we budget for them now.
Yes.
We don't pay anybody, so the money stays in our athletic revolving account.
Well, no, because we pay salaries out of operational. Revolving account, we try to pay.
Oh, but then we transfer it out of operational and we use it for something else.
Lost.
When we don't expend it, we don't encumber it.
Then it would be used elsewhere.
Right, but
Yeah.
we always encumber
But my
the,
point is, we cut it, so I'm sorry.
yeah, that's okay.
So you're saying if we're not already using it, why, right?
We are using it though, we just use it somewhere else.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why would we cut it out of the?
Which is why he's really not
Yeah.
proposing that, and that's why the first line on there you're gonna see says, eliminate the supplemental athletic insurance. So currently, the athletic account pays for $8,500 insurance, liability like insurance for the students. So he's proposing to do what other districts do, and they charge the parents. He said in his own children, like they pay $35 at the sport to carry the insurance if they need it. Rather
they
than
need it.
If they need it.
If their family doesn't have insurance, is that what it is?
I know, why do they need this insurance?
It's supplemental.
Yeah, so it'd pick
Can
up
find out
where
more.
if your medical insurance may not cover, this it's kind of like Aflac.
In addition.
Good way to describe it.
I mean, have we used it a lot? Have the kids used it a lot? How often?
I'd have to go to find out. Yes, it
You
has
can
been
find-
used. I don't think it's been
But
used a
like
ton,
Once?
but it has
I
been
mean-
used. No, it's more than once, but I'll talk to Kevin. We can talk to Kevin about that, and.
But the alternative is charging families.
Correct.
Correct.
That's correct.
Only that need it?
No, anyone can buy it.
It would be if they choose to have
It's
the
whether they
Would
choose to
supplemental.
buy it.
anybody choose to buy it?
Would anybody? Is that
Yes.
what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, he chose to buy it for his own students, his own children.
Yeah.
Right.
I would think if you're in a contact sport,
Right, that you would want that?
yeah.
And it's a small fee to.
Even if you already have a health insurance?
Yeah, because unless you hit your deductible, right, you're gonna end up
You're
having
still
to
gonna end up
pay
paying.
for, if it's a serious injury or you need surgery,
Really?
I mean, it's gonna,
And your deductible
I mean,
for,
it's the same as, I would think a parent is looking at like the tech insurance, like it's $35, you know, like what is that? If I end up.
A year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
season.
I don't feel like that's that bad either.
But I think
right,
with
versus
these
if your
things, which it
deductible
sounds
for
like.
hospitalization is
Probably the families that are
$500,
most,
deductible
in need.
for, ambulance ride might be 1,000, so those things add up.
Yeah.
So right now, this supplemental insurance, we pay for and we cover the kids extra?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And it's an $8,500 line item for the athletic
And is
budget.
it one of those things where if it's used like any other insurance, it goes up?
No,
Okay.
it's been that amount for quite a number of years.
So these positions, we are not hiring these coaches, obviously,
Oh, we might.
right?
These are all listed in the contract. What he's basically saying is that since the fall of 2022, we have not had enough ninth graders to field a completely ninth grade boys soccer team, but there are ninth graders that play JV.
Right,
So-
so then
But we
this
could
freshman
fill it,
boys
so-
soccer coach,
We could field a freshman boys soccer team if we have enough players. That's why it's still in there. These are
I
just
know,
the
but
last
I'm
one,
just
yeah.
asking, where does that money go?
It goes to balance increasing expenses that
Right.
we have, so it's been
Okay.
used, is what they were saying. So
Right.
cutting
So-
it isn't gonna help us. It will
It's
create
not
other
like
problems.
they're still
Right.
hiring the coach.
No,
No,
Maybe
they'll
it's
utilize,
helping the other-
they'll
Deferring to
utilize it for other
transportation
athletic
costs or-
expenses, yeah. That's probably how they've been offsetting
I
a
would
lot
think,
of their
because the
transportation
transportation
costs.
costs, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9%, just not on athletic transportation.
But see, if you look at his, in the middle here of what he wrote on that sheet, he says, in previous years, when the above freshman teams did not have enough freshmen to field a team, the athletic department used the money to help support teams that needed extra support. For example, last year, we hired 2 extra varsity tennis coaches due to the shortage of courts, or when we hire a new varsity coach that may need an assistant coach support, or when numbers are really high on a team and we need extra supervision. So he's keeping it there in.
So
He's
it
got
is
that-
going to other
He's got that
coaches.
ability to do that?
So it
He
is
would-
going.
He would talk to us, he
Remember,
would
we
get
asked him
permission.
to do it for the tennis.
Okay.
Because
of the situation.
The situation that was going on.
And that's how he justified
How
it.
do we continue to have practices go on 3 courts? And in order to do that, he had to rotate a variety of practices.
Okay.
In terms of the, you're probably gonna get to the other things that are suggested, like, what we just talked about, the insurance, increasing athletic fees, like, we'll benchmark that against our sort of peer districts to see like where we are price-wise,
Yeah.
and if that makes sense, because.
And we
Right.
just increased our athletic fee last year, like for this year, we just
Right.
went from 149 to 199.
Which is the first time in 20.
Right.
And do we know what our neighboring districts are
We
charging?
can get that information. We're not above what neighboring districts are charging.
And we still
And
would
we
have
do-
that fund for families who we know have demonstrated need.
Correct. We never expect to bring in through user fees. You know, if we have 850 athletes participating, we know we're not going to get 850 user fees because we
Yeah.
use free and reduced lunch as a barometer
Yeah.
in terms of what we charge, if we charge at all.
I also feel like, I mean, that was just last year that they needed the extra coaches for tennis.
Correct.
So some of these coaches we haven't needed for 3 or 4 years. So where did all that money go?
He would utilize it for transportation costs.
Exact, transportation
It's
has
the first
been-
time he's asked for a transportation
Yep.
increase, but we know transportation overall every year has gone up.
But does he tell you guys, do you guys get
He's-
documentation
yeah, he
about
sends
that?
me a
Like,
Pam.
all right, this money is going towards this.
Yes. There are conversations.
Pam, one more question. So
Sure.
we were saying that these coaches that we don't use, that goes to supplement something else. So this increase that he's asking for is on top of this.
That's correct.
That uses to supplement.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so pulling those back just,
Yeah.
Doesn't make a whole lot of
yeah,
sense.
it's not, right, we still need.
So I'll find out more information about the 8,500, that insurance. We'll find out what our neighboring districts do regarding that topic, as well as the athletic fees.
Yeah, also curious about gate fees. Like, what do other districts charge to get into games? Are we like on par with that?
I think we're pretty on target because we recently
fee now,
changed
yeah.
our system. It's the electronic system now, and Kevin had done a lot of research. Do you remember
Okay.
that? Yeah, it was
He brought it
last
to the
year.
school committee last year to, one, get approved for using electronic ticket sales, and then 2, he was utilizing comparative amounts that he sees at Long Meadow, Hampton, Wilbraham, I think he had Ludlow, West Side.
But we'll get all that info. I'll bring it back for you.
I think it's just easier to justify our increases if we have benchmarks.
You see, yeah, yep.
Is it also comparable, I know that there's groups of people that we also don't charge to go to our games.
Correct.
Is that also in similar districts, or?
We do a little bit more, I think, than other districts, because I think the school
What is
committee
it
a few
right
years
now?
ago voted
Oh, I had it on one of my
to
financials.
allow all
I know
athletes
it's
to
senior
attend
citizens.
Seniors.
Seniors.
And then athletes in season,
in season, right?
home
I
athletes.
thought that was
I
always
think
like
that's
that.
it. That's it.
Home athletes were always
Yep.
during their season. Oh.
So it's the seniors that are different.
And I think it was school
Usually
committee that
there's a discount.
encouraged that,
It was.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
because
Yes,
trying to
it was.
Yep.
'Cause I
Yeah.
remember that.
participation and make it more for families, because we were up in the athletics and,
Yep.
yeah.
So.
Our school district uses there's different fees depending on the sport.
Right.
That's
Other
another
districts-
model to
They
look at.
scaffold it. Usually hockey is your top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take that back, skiing
Skiing
would probably be your
and
top.
hockey.
And then hockey.
For this, it's hockey, and then skiing, and then football.
But we have one user fee across the board
Right.
for all, right? So those are ideas, certainly, as we continue to discuss budget development, we'll try to build that area in the middle, because having a number larger than 460,000 would be helpful, so they can offset the 1.2 almost that we're looking at as a possible deficit.
Gordon, is our transportation fee the same as all the other LPVEC schools, or?
That's a good question. We can find
When
out.
you say our bus fees that we
Yeah,
charge?
270, it's on the list as
Yeah.
something we could increase, I'm just curious, like, just, are we all
Compare it
charging?
to-
Yeah, I
We'll
can
get
find that
comparable
out.
Data, yeah.
And
did-
that's only for students that are 2 miles and up.
Right, there's
Right.
criteria that,
Correct.
yep.
Yeah. Anyone within the 2 miles in.
You're right.
Yeah.
Of their-
And I did-
of their school.
I did go over that,
grade.
to put closure to that topic. I
From sixth
believe
grade.
a
Up
few
to
meetings
sixth
ago, I
grade.
had mentioned that the
And they would
collaborative
charge it.
had taken away a bus for next year, and although it's good because the price is lower, but I also I just want to make sure that our numbers, and what I wasn't taking into consideration or was forgetting temporarily was that the utilization, so the budget that they're creating now for next year is utilizing our numbers now, and our enrollment has gone down for transportation as well. So we are not utilizing all of the buses, so that's why. So I'm okay with that. I just wanted to let you guys know, and I did have that conversation that now the what if, like what if all of a sudden our enrollment goes back up and we have an issue with the bus, and they would work with us on that, so.
So our
The one-
assessment is lower than.
Yes.
is lower.
Yes, which is a good, but I
Something.
wanted to make sure, yes.
Something.
I mean,
Like those
overall,
Electric buses running around, nice. yeah.
overall, it was like 120,000 increase though with the collaborative,
With those positions?
with the positions and union things, the board has to vote on those positions.
Absolutely.
120 per district?
No,
Our
It's
district,
based on your enrollment.
yeah, so it's different for each of us, but it's probably not too far off from district to district. So. I
Yeah,
was-
there's work to do still.
Yep, there's work to do, and no decisions need to be made now. There's still some moving pieces behind the scenes, like I said. Some of the software, we have, amounts in there that we're still working on getting, like, exact quotes. So, things can change a little bit, and I'm always looking at special ed, and so this is where I see us right now.
Okay.
So as we continue budget development discussions, we'll continue to build strategies there. If you have other ideas, please feel free to send us thoughts, because we'll bring you the information so that we have, as you're saying, benchmark information, just so that we're seeing, well, what other districts do? That's, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. The quarterly report was exciting, at least from my vantage point. Maybe not so much from Mr. Thompson's vantage point. We'll at least add a recommendation there. And then, unfortunately, we'll have to start building a strategy for potential positions as well.
There are 8 retirements, so we always look at those first to see if,
Right, but
potential.
we'll bring that list, but I don't think you're going to be able to utilize 8.
Right.
I think and I'd like to show the leadership team the 8, but you certainly can utilize some.
And there'll be some savings, because those folks are obviously at higher
Right,
So
salaries.
But I budget.
she's already budgeted the
I budget
savings.
a master's 8, so I budget 76,167, and
So the savings already.
the savings is already there, yeah.
It'd be great if they could generate more savings and then they hire like Masters 2, but it's little. That would be like, like an $8,000 savings versus $50,000 savings.
There's also a couple of long-term sub-positions that are just in there for the year, so we
Yeah.
can look at those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At what point do you have those conversations with building principals to?
Last year, we had them throughout this whole process, and we've started, not looking at positions, but we started this same discussion with them. Now that we have a better idea of what is level services, what is the potential deficit, we'll bring those same numbers to the team. And then what I want to show them and have done in the past is, okay, here are your retirements. And we go through, what are sort of crucial needs? Well, you have to replace that one. Or, well, no, we might be able to get through without replacing that situation. Then they have some creative ideas, because certainly in each building there are different things that they're seeing that may or may not be a savings or may not be a need, because we also have that in terms of, hey, have we thought about this? This is something that's coming, whatever that may be. And so we have a lot of just different discussions, and then we bring their recommendations to all of you. In some cases, there's been agreement on that. In some cases, and last year's process was an even bigger deficit that we had to close. Took us all the way into really the middle of April, I believe, if not late April. And so there were a lot of different scenarios run. Most of that, because you're talking about positions and people are in those positions, we do in executive session.
Yeah.
So that we're not making it any more anxiety producing than it already is. That's why, if I can build that center area of this document,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, any other questions on budget? This will certainly come up again soon.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent, thank you for that discussion. And we have our final item for tonight, the new superintendent contract that was discussed in the executive session. If there's any questions, or if not, we would take a motion to approve, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the new superintendent contract.
Second.
Motion, for Dr. Menard,
For Dr. Menard.
for the, just the years, which would be,
For the 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029 school year.
I'll take that. Motion made
I
by
don't know if those are the
Antonella.
right years.
Second.
Second by William.
27, 28, 28, 29.
Okay,
Correct.
okay.
William
Sorry,
seconded.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
William seconded, yeah. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The motion carries 4-0. Excellent, thank you all. We're on our way. And
That's
On
it.
my way.
That's it. That was the last thing.
that's it. If there's no other business, I would take someone to move to adjourn, please. Antonella has to get to dinner.
So moved.
Motion made by William,
Second.
second by Antonella. Antonella, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. That motion carries 4-0. Thank you. We are adjourned.